MusicUCanSee Winter Nam, I ran into Charlie Munoz, who's the frontman of the now new formed Cannibal and the Headhunters, who I never thought in a million years I'd ever get to see them perform live. You look like Frankie.
I do really look like Frankie. This is the first time I've ever heard of it, but that's a nice compliment. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So your history, you knew Frankie.
I knew Frankie when he used to work at the hospital up in East LA, a White Memorial.
Okay.
He was a cook in the back room. And we were talking once, and he always told me, he goes, Charlie, if you weren't singing with another group, you'd be singing with me. Okay, with the Cannibal and the Headhunters.
So you were already in another group?
Oh, I had my own two groups, plus the group I started with the Ambertones back in the day. And that's where it all started. We were friends for years, yeah.
Now, I've seen several documentaries and books about the Chicano music scene. One that, one's a book, and then one Edward Olmos also. How accurate was what we're being told in these books and in these documentaries?
Well, if you really want to know all the facts, Robert has them. He's the leader of the band, the drummer. He knows all the facts on what. He's right here. He's right here. But
I've seen the documentaries with Edward Olmos. The book, Land of a Thousand Dances. How accurate on the Chicano music scene? How accurate is that?
It's as far as what the.
Well, everyone has their own take on how it occurred and how it.
Well, I know they call it like Chicano rock. They put that term to it, but there is really no category for it in any kind of music award show. So I think it was something that all the Latin players came up with, Chicano rock. I don't even know if it really exists or not, but that's one of the terms, I guess, that some of the groups like to use. When Cannibal started, that word wasn't around.
Correct.
So Chicano rock didn't start happening until 69, 70, when that term started being used. Basically, with Cannibal and the Headhunters, it started as a doo-wop group. So people ask us nowadays, what style do you consider your music? What is it made up of? It's made up of doo-wop, rock, and R&B soul. So that's what we do, doo-wop, rock, and R&B soul. And you just got a taste of it today.
So tight.
So
your live performance is so tight.
Oh, thank you so much. We, I made a promise to Cannibal when he passed, and he turned the band over to me. This was back in 1983. He was working himself through medical school, just in case the music career didn't do well. He wanted to have something to fall back on. So he was becoming an RN nurse and working at USC Medical Center. And in the laboratory that they were doing research on AIDS, he got pricked by an infected needle. And that's how he contracted the AIDS virus. He was a gay man, and a lot of people...
Frankie was?
Yeah, he was a gay man, and they thought maybe it was from him being promiscuous or something, but no, he was being real careful.
Interesting.
And isn't it strange that after being as safe as he was, he got pricked by an infected needle in the laboratory he was working on. Not just him, but two other people as well. So three people that contracted it. And he dealt with it for 13 years, and eventually took his life on January 21st of 1996.
Oh, 96.
1996, yeah. We were on tour when it happened, so we weren't able to make it back in time for his services. But every show that we do, we dedicate it to his memory. I mean, and this is our legacy too. We carry the history, and and I've been doing this thing since I was 15 years old. So I've been here way over 5.5 decades or so. So it's been quite a number of years.
So the doo-wop band, when they would go on the road, they needed a real band.
Well,
you were there.
The King Curtis band was the band that backed them up when Frankie did the Beatles tour. That was the deciding factor, that he wanted to create his own band, his own rhythm section. That's when I came into play. So yeah, there was various groups that would back him up at whatever shows they were at. And although King Curtis was a fantastic group, they just didn't do the song very well. And Paul, I remember telling Paul, we were on the road with Denny Lane. And I told Denny about the recording from Shea Stadium, and he did ask Paul about it. And Paul McCartney told him that he'll never release it because it sounds terrible. It's just really bad. I got a chance to hear it one time. It was bad. So
because of the backup band.
The backup band just didn't quite capture what Frankie wanted and what his idea was. And I'm sure you heard the story of him forgetting the lyrics to the words.
That's where the na 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 came from, right?
That's all folklore. That is that's a fabricated
You know how
story.
many times I've told that story?
Well, it's a fabricated story. What happened was Frankie was working with a group called the Rhythm Playboys. This is way before Cannibal and the Headhunters even existed. And they used to do Chris Kenner's version of Land of a Thousand Dances. Chris Kenner wrote it.
I thought Wilson Pickett wrote it.
No, Wilson Pickett did it after us in '67. Chris Kenner wrote it in 1963. Didn't have a hook. He released it. It didn't do very well. Chris Kenner contacted Fats Domino and said, "Hey, would you, help me out to try to find a hook for this song?" So they tried to work something out. Couldn't come up with a hook. Frankie used to warm up with a vocal lick, na 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 na. He wanted to stick that into the song, and at a rehearsal is when he brought in the na 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 phrase to Land of a Thousand Dances. So between the owner of Rampart Records, Eddie Davis, and Cannibal, decided to fabricate a story to say he forgot the lyrics, and it was all to help create a mysterious thing with the song and help it push it along, which it did. But it wasn't until later in the 70s where Frankie, at one of the shows, Mike Love referred to Frankie, and the Beatles referred to Frankie as the Mexican lad, and who forgot the lyrics. And that used to bother him, because he goes, "Man, I never should have told that story, because I never forgot the lyrics. That was something that I actually wanted to put into the song." So he kind of regretted doing that. So there is a movie. There is a movie coming out about our group. It's already in production.
Documentary or biopic?
No, it's a movie. We have the script. Everything has been done, so in about another month or so, we have one more reading over at a place called Critical Content in Burbank. But that movie's going to tell the story exactly how everything was laid out, and everybody gets to see the truth on exactly how it happened.
That's cool.
So yeah. And I'm glad I ran into Charlie too, because he had to put his feet in Frankie's shoes, and he's just been awesome at doing
I
a
think
great
he
job.
resembles Frankie. And I'm not saying that in a bad way.
Well, no, we were on an off-the-wall, just a little jam session gig, and he came in to sing, and I didn't know him. And I saw him, and I said, "God, man, this guy reminds me of Frankie and Eddie, even Eddie Serrano." Yeah. And so we started chatting, and he's been here 25 years now. So, yeah.
Been a real good ride for me.
This is nice.
I am so glad. I'm tickled pink. I never thought in a million years I'd ever see you guys live.
Oh, well.
Ever.
You'll just see more.
We're Lincoln Heights boys.
Come out to the
So well,
Cerritos.
next time we'll charge you.
We're going to be doing a Cinco de Mayo show at the Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts
Oh, I love that
on
place.
May
I saw
4th.
Poncho Sanchez
Oh.
there.
And it's going to be Cannibal and the Headhunters, the Midnighters, and Malo.
Oh, we gotta
and
go.
Malo?
And Malo.
We gotta
yeah.
go.
But he passed.
Well, yeah,
Carlos-
George Santana passed,
Jorge Santana.
and Arcelio Garcia passed, but his wife is running the group now. So she's keeping it going in his memory.
Outro.
MusicUCanSee, Winter Nam. Oh man, I'm blown away. Cannibal and the Headhunters.
And whoever didn't make it, you missed out on a good show.
Damn right.
And we'll be at Cerritos Performing Arts on May 4th. So please be there.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.